Hey, welcome back everybody. In this video tutorial, we're going to be taking a look at activity 5.3, and that is for the custom train car. So up to this point, what we have is we basically have our miniature train. We've created all the parts, the assembly, the IPN. We've put everything into our IDW according to that set of working drawings, that exemplar that's out there on PowerSchool. And now we would like to go out there and create a custom train car that's going to be hooked to the back of our actual miniature train. So in order to do that, we're going to have to jump out to File Explorer first. And out here, what we're going to have to do on our Z drive in our LTHS IED folder, what we're going to have to do is create a new folder. That's going to be called your first and last initial underscore activity 5.3 underscore CTC, which stands for custom train car. And we will just leave that folder like that. So that is the folder that we need to create for this next activity. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go over into our 5.2b miniature train folder. And we're going to have to go out there and grab some things. So the first things we're going to have to go out there and grab is going to be the axle peg. We do not need the cow catcher for the custom train car because that's on the front of our train. We are going to need the hitch magnet. We are going to need the hitch peg. We are not going to need the linkage arm. We're not going to need the linkage peg. We are not going to need the stack. We are going to need our train body, and we're going to need our train wheel. So we're going to go ahead and copy those. And we're going to go ahead and paste those into our custom train car folder. So just that easily, we have 5 IPTs that we're wanting to use. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to have to go out there and rename these. And we're basically going to change this over to 5.3 underscore CTC. We're going to follow the same file naming conventions, underscore, and we're going to go ahead and keep that part name just like so. So I'll do this a couple times, and I'll do a quick pause, just so you can see how this is done. So this would be CTC underscore wheel. Okay, just a quick pause, and I'll finish up with a Okay, as you can see, I went ahead and finished up with the rest of those. So once again, following the same file naming convention, your first, last, initial, underscore activity 5.3, underscore CTC, which stands for custom train car, and then underscore, and the name of the part. So the first thing we're going to have to do is go out here and open up our train body. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the train body. And this is what we've been used to seeing. Okay, so the first couple things we have to do is come out here. I'm going to go right here to the browser. I'm going to come here to my fillet. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just delete those fillets. So now we're talking about everything with square corners on it. Let's see, what else do we need to do? We have some holes that are out here. We do want to keep these holes, for our actual axle pegs. We'll keep those. We are no longer going to need this hole on top for the stack, so we can delete that. And I think we're basically kind of ready to go from there. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to swing this around and go to the front of the train body. Oops, you know what I forgot? I forgot these 3 holes here on the front. We need to toss those as well, so let's delete those. Okay, so I don't know if you saw this, but when I went to delete, whenever you're deleting any sort of feature, okay, whether it be a hole, extrusion, whatever, it's also going to be asking you, do you want to delete the sketches that we use to create those features? And in this case is yes. So it's going to remain checked. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and say okay, and now those sketches are out there as well. So okay, so now we're looking at the front of the actual train body. So we're going to start a 2D sketch. We're going to pick the front. We're going to go ahead and use project geometry because I'd like to project this geometry forward the front of the train. And now I'm going to come out here and use a rectangle. I'm going to start it from this corner, and I'm going to create a rectangle, okay, that's going to basically cover, okay, all the information geometry we have, from this line and up. So I'm going to go ahead and go out there and place that rectangle. As long as it's enclosing and housing everything within that, we're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that sketch. Now I'm going to come out and do an extrude, and I'm going to be making sure that the profile that you see here, and it's kind of hard to see, is the profile I would like to use. The thing is, I want to send this into the other direction, okay, and I want this to be a cut. And instead of specifying a distance, I'm just going to say all. Once I say OK, you're now going to see how it bulldozes everything off the top of that. All right, so basically what we've done is we've just created a platform. Okay, now we can start building anything on top of. This is going to be the correct height for things on the custom train car. We have the holes for the wheels. We have everything that we basically need. Okay, now we could actually start extruding and creating whatever we want on this platform. The other thing that we're going to have to do is we're also going to have to take this hole that's on the back side of this, and we're going to place it on the front. Because if you think about this custom, any sort of train cars that are on the back of the train, they would have some sort of hitch or some sort of feature that way they can lock into another car. So we need this on the front as well, so it will actually attach to the back of the actual train. So what we're going to be doing on that one is we're going to come out here and create a plane on the front, and we pick on the back, and now we can see that work plane is right there. It's a mid plane or a bisector work plane. Now what we're going to do is come up here and go to mirror. We're now going to be coming here to the back. We're going to be picking on this hole. Okay, picking the red arrow for our mirror plane, picking the actual mirror plane itself, and saying OK. And now we should be seeing this hole on the front as well. We're done with that work plane, so now we can go ahead and turn off the work plane. Okay, so that is the basic platform, for a custom train car. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick save. And I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. All right, so when we take a look at the actual train, okay, the wheels are going to have this linkage arm and linkage peg. There's a cylinder here. Obviously, we're not going to need those. We just need the wheels just to look, like smooth wheels, nothing attached to them. So what we're going to have to do now is we're going to have to open up our custom train car folder. We're going to have to go out to wheel, and we're going to go ahead and do an open. Okay, so now when we take a look at the wheel, we see the cylinder and this peg sort of thing on top with this hole. We can get rid of all this. We just want those wheels to be smooth because there's no purpose for the actual linkage arm or the linkage peg. So I'm going to come out here and I'm going to come here to my first hole at the very bottom. I'm going to go ahead and delete that with the sketch that we used to create it. Okay, also come here to this extrusion. We'll go ahead and delete that with the sketch that we used to create that. And this extrusion here, we'll go ahead and delete that with the sketch we used to create that. Now we can see that this is a smooth wheel. This is the wheel for a custom train car. Okay, so we can go ahead now and do a save. We can go ahead and close that. And basically now we are ready to go. So I would like to go out there now, okay, and create a new assembly. So it's going to be a standard inch IAM. And right off the bat, I'm going to go up here to the orange file tab, do a save as, okay, make sure I'm looking at my Z drive, go into our LTHS IED folder, okay, go to our activity 5.3 CTC, our custom train car folder, and I'm now going to be creating a new IAM. That's going to be called this. FL underscore activity 5.3 underscore CTC. This is an assembly, so I'm going to go ahead and do a save. Once I do a save, now I can go ahead and place everything that I'm needing to create this new assembly. So once again, navigating out to the Z drive, LTHS IED folder, to our 5.3 CTC folder. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick on train body. I'm going to open that and drop that in. First thing I have to do is go out here and ground this. So I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to come out and ground this so we cannot move it. And now I can go ahead and begin placing my parts. I know I'm going to need a wheel. Actually, I'm going to need 4 of those. So I'm going to go ahead and place those out there. And I'm also going to need the axle pegs. So I'm going to go ahead and place 4 of those axle pegs out there. I'm going to also need my hitch magnet. I'm going to need 2 of those, one on the front, one on the back. And I'm going to need my hitch peg, one on the front, one on the back. Okay, so I kind of look at this. I know this gets a little bit crowded, But what I would like to do is sort of what I would do in real life is go ahead and sort of do some sub-assemblies first, and then place the entire sub-assembly into these holes for these wheels. So free rotate, pick one of those wheels, okay, get this oriented or nudged into the correct position, and do the same thing with the actual axle peg, just like so. So now I can come out and do a constraint. It's going to be an insert constraint. Okay, come in here and I'd like to slide that axle peg, okay, into that position, do an apply. And now flip this over, okay, do another insert, and it's going to be from this edge into this one. And now we have seen we have gone out there and attached the wheel with the axle peg in it into our actual custom train car. I'm going to do a slight pause here just for a second. I'm going to go ahead and assemble the other three wheels. So as you can see, we went ahead and we finished this up. Okay, we can now see we have all of our wheels in place for our custom train car. Axle pegs are in place. Okay, so the only thing we have to do to finish this up is we have to come out here and do a constraint. Go to insert, and we're going to do once again a small little sub-assembly. We're going to be inserting our hitch peg into our hitch magnet first. We're going to apply that. We're going to be flipping this over, and now we're going to be inserting, okay, this back portion here. It's going to be going into the front of our miniature train car. We're going to apply that, and we're going to do the same for the back. So once again, using insert, taking that and inserting it into our hitch magnet. I'm going to apply that, and then finally our whole subassembly from that portion into the back. We're going to go ahead and apply that. Okay, and just that quickly, okay, we basically have the foundation and the assembly ready to go for the rest of our custom train car. All right, so at this point, and obviously in order to build on this, you'd have to go either double click here on the actual custom train car body, okay, and we could start a sketch, do our extrusions, do whatever it is we have to do. We could do that through the assembly, okay, or we could actually go out here and open up and go into our actual train body and begin creating our extrusions from here. So if we want this just to be a simple sort of wagon car, we would start a sketch. Okay, we could use project geometry. We could use things like offset. Okay, and we could offset this in. Let's say we want to make this, I don't know, 0.1875 thickness for our wall. Okay, we could finish that up. We could extrude this, and we could bring those walls up like so. Okay, once I do a save, okay, that's going to save it to the IPT. Okay, and over here on the other side with the assembly, we will see how this foundation has updated. Okay, but there's anything you can do with this. I mean, that's the whole point is you're going to go out there and design your own custom train car. Okay, create this however you want, add however you want. If you'd like to create other IPTs to add to this, go ahead. If you'd like to drill holes and put pegs on the back of those IPTs to insert them, go ahead. So there you go. That's how we do the custom train car.